He's a real estate investor. That's what he is. He's a real estate investor.
Steve Zeltzer with SLAP, Schools and Labor Against Privatization, having this press conference here today to say that this vote today is absolutely wrong. What we believe is it should not be a vote because Zack Wasserman, who is the chair of this commission, is actually a land development lawyer who worked for John Fisher, the Billionaire A's owner and Gap owner. So we're saying he shouldn't be voting on it. It's unethical. We're also saying that why are we building 3,000 luxury condos next to a stadium? It will further gentrification and will hurt the working people of Oakland. So this is a gentrification project. It's a land development project. It has nothing to do really with helping the working people of Oakland and the port workers. And our next speaker is Aaron Wright, who's a ILW Local 10 member.
We're here today to oppose the recommendation to take Howard Terminal out of seaport use. We need this baseball stadium to be built at the Coliseum site where the infrastructure is already set up and it can be done at a fraction of the cost. We have $1.355 billion of taxpayer money slated to be put into this project. And that's just unconscionable when you think about the 12 Oakland public schools being closed, the amount of homeless that are running the streets. These people are out there dying. They need shelter. We need that money to be used for other infrastructure around the city and put into our fire departments. The priority of funding this Howard Terminal project and the priority of funding this Howard Terminal project, and it's been said it's the biggest project in the United States. It's bloated, and it doesn't take into account anything that the maritime industry needs. The maritime industry needs Howard Terminal. Oakland needs Howard Terminal. Currently, there's thousands of containers, trucks, and chassis using Howard Terminal today. It needs to stay at seaport use. Otherwise, all of that traffic will be pushed out onto your streets and highways during rush hour. And we do not need that. Not to mention game day traffic in that area. It's going to be a mess, a nightmare, not just for the port, but for Oakland in general. And it's a boondoggle. It's a giveaway. The A's want it all. They want 50 acres at Howard Terminal. They want 150 acres at the Coliseum site. And it's just too much. It's not responsible use of our public funds. Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Melvin McKay. He's with the Northern California ILW District.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. One of the things that I can tell you about this project here today, if you take away this project, this land, the port is doomed. What will happen with the people that purchase these condominiums, this ballpark, this amusement park? They'll go back to the same city council asking for noise relief, and they'll get it. Noise supersedes the presence of residential. We cannot afford to have this happen. The people that are in the community today, the mom and pop stores, they will shut down. It's nothing like this pandemic. Maritime property is for maritime. I see that we have the building trades here, the Teamsters. They all want to build. It's a 3-year project and they move on to disrupt someone else's job. That is not kosher. I can tell you guys one thing for sure and two things are certain. If this happens, look for your goods to come from Portland, Oregon, Seattle, or Los Angeles. The Billionaire hasn't said anything. He has a spokesperson that does all his bidding for him. He hasn't came out and said anything, but he does want Oakland to fund $1 billion. There's a vote next Tuesday, July 5th, at the Oakland City Council for this to go to the ballot box. That's where it should be. The people of Oakland should be able to vote on their destiny, not 11 people. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Lisa Milos, and she's a member of UPTI UC Workers. Welcome, Lisa.
I'm a member of UPTI, and we're a public sector union, a public education union, and I find it deplorable that the city of Oakland would be willing to spend $1 billion something for a billionaire project when they're at the same time that they're closing down schools. It happens to be the same person, John Fisher from the Gap Fortune, who is also the leader of the privatization of public education by being the owner of KIPP Academy. The same person who is also trying to destroy a public resource, which is our Port of Oakland. I would like to reach out to the unions that are supporting this transfer of property to private hands and implore them to join the community, join the young people who are defending their schools, and to join the ILWU in fighting against this billionaire. Because whenever unions stick together, whenever working people stick together and fight for what is good for them, but not only what is good for them and their jobs, but what is good for their other workers and their communities, that's when we actually win. Because otherwise, it's not a win. It's only a win for temporary jobs, for building and construction maybe, but it's not a win for the future of their own children and the future of the communities. So I would implore them to join forces instead of signing up and being a lackey to this billionaire. Thank you very much.
And this is SLAP, Schools and Labor Against Privatization. Our next speaker is Brad Weimeier, who's a home care worker, formerly in SEIU. SEIU 1021, by the way, is opposed to this project and are standing with the longshoremen, maritime workers, and against gentrification. So welcome, Brad Weimeier.
The vote that's coming down today is an attack on planning and the interest of the greater community. The harbor and the dock jobs are one of the leading economic engines in the Bay Area. When the port is hemmed in and reduced, it's going to shrink. There are other candidates for expanding. Right now in Coos Bay, Oregon, federal money is pouring in. An intermediate terminal is being built at a former Georgia Pacific site. And the North Spit is projected in Coos Bay in Oregon, Southern Oregon, to have 1 million container port. That's the size of Oakland. So I want to ask my sisters and brothers, when the goods that are coming in have this additional transportation of 500 miles overland from Coos Bay to the Bay Area, tacked onto the cost of our needed goods, what's that going to do? And the other ports are also looking to take up the slack. We need to support the economic engine of the Bay Area.
Schools and Labor Against Privatization.
The BCDC, with the vote today, they polled the vote, and the report gets tailor-made for the way that the politics pressure the members on this commission. And there's a lot of empty seats. But by the vote today, BCDC will declare itself incompetent to be overlooking the Bay and the interest of the Bay Area population. It's bad planning to hem in the port and to cause reduction. If they were serious about preserving the port, they would be building the infrastructure to transport people to the Howard Terminal development over the tracks, and other needed resources would be put into that, but they have no intention of remaining, of the port remaining viable. Mayor Libby Schaaf says we have the outer harbor, so she's writing off the entire estuary between Alameda and Oakland. So if you want to pay a whole lot more for imports, vote yes. If you want to keep the economic engine of the Bay Area strong, they must vote down the Howard Terminal project. Thank you.
I'm Steve Zeltzer with Schools and Labor Against Privatization. One of the issues that we're addressing here as well is the fact that this port development by Billionaire Gap A's owner, John Fisher, will actually push out the trucks that are now in the Howard Terminal into the community, into West Oakland. And that means more pollution and more contamination of people in the community in this working port. So our next speaker is Melody Davis, who is an organizer in West Oakland and has been fighting to protect the community, protect the environment, and protect the maritime jobs. So welcome, Melody. Melody!
I have something to say. As long as I can remember, you can never put something round in something square. And that's what this man is trying to do. He done found a little spot in West Oakland where I live at to put his mega dream there. His mega dream is not only to have a stadium, that's what he started off with, but now he want to put $1 million homes. We don't need that. People out here homeless. He's going to put out a hotel. We got plenty of hotels. Everything that you need is at the Coliseum, infrastructure that he wants us to pay for. You cannot put a round peg in a square hole. It's impossible. And that's what Mr. Fisher wants to do. And the city council in Oakland put that on the back of this company here, BCDC. We're asking you, BCDC, to support us. Don't let that man, one man, have that much power. How could one man have that much power? Who's going to be owing him something? Somebody is, because the infrastructure is right there in East Oakland. What does that mean? He don't want to be around the Spanish people, the Mexicans, or the blacks? What is going on with that? I see a form of discrimination there. You got everything that you need right there in East Oakland. What he wants to build over there is his dream, his fantasy island. I keep saying, think about it. Can you put something round in a square hole? You can't. And he's asking all the citizens in Oakland to pay for his dream. That should be impossible, and that should not be done. Why he can't do it over there in East Oakland? Because it's by Mexicans and blacks. That's the only reason why. Tell the truth. Mr. Fisher, tell the truth. Mr. Fisher, tell the truth. A form of racism. How could you support somebody like that, you guys? Now, BCDC and the rest of you guys who try to vote for this man's dream, 5 years from now, we're going to have to go back to the Oakland taxpayers and ask for some more money. Because you know everything is going up. Everything. So that lumber, all that construction he wants to do, it's the one price now, but it's going to go up in 5 years. And we're going to be sitting right back at the taxpayers. Not you guys. Do not go and fall into this man's fantasy island dream. You cannot fit anything round in something square. And that's what he wants to do. Please, please support what we're saying. Do not let him get the Port Authority. Keep it where it's at. And let's continue doing what we're doing. Let this one man have that much power is insane. I am a native of Oakland. I want to make that clear. I used to work at the Coliseum. I want to make that clear. I used to have my grandfather, when I was working there, took my grandson to the baseball game and some other grandchildren. And when my grandfather died, I buried him in an A's outfit. I want to make myself clear. I don't have a problem against the A's. I have a problem in the location. Why do we have to pay for this man's dream? He wasn't thinking about that at first when he went to Fremont, about the hotels and etc. Look and see what this man really object is. He's a real estate investor. That's what he is. He's a real estate investor. And Mayor Libby is going out, so she don't care if it happens or not. This is her last year. But what about us other residents who are still staying there and want to have our dream home on that property? The taxes are going to go up and you're going to have to sell it. And everything, Modesto, Merced, everywhere, everything is getting higher. This man is about to push us out of our homes that we thought once upon a time that we had our dream. He don't care about us. He cares about his pocket. He's a real estate investor. He don't care about us. You see what? While there's no attendance at the Coliseum, guess what? He's still getting paid. Think about it. Think about it. You guys need to think about what you guys are that he wants you guys to do. His money is just for him, not for nobody. He said he wasn't going to do it. He walked in there one day at the Community Benefits Agreement Program with the people of the community asking for certain things. Dave Cavell walked in there no more than 15 minutes, and he said, if you guys can let the city give us what we want, you guys are not getting anything. You cannot put a round screw in a square hole. Remember that. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Pat Fahey, renowned labor troubadour, and also he's going to be singing a song around this issue.
So just for public consumption, people have been talking about the BCDC. That's the Bay Conservation and Development Commission. And what is its mandate? It was a California State Commission dedicated to protect the protection, enhancement, and responsibility, the responsible use of San Francisco Bay. So all of the folks that were commenting about this, they talked about the importance of the supply chain and how big Northern California is as a port. They also talked about how the truckers are freaking out because this would result in a complete annihilation of the traffic flow that would go through people's communities. None of this has been taken into consideration by this commission. And the part that I want to comment on is the relationship between John Fisher, the same billionaire behind all this, and his funding of KIPP schools that are undermining the Oakland Unified School District. Why are there's a direct relationship between the money taken out by charter schools and the lack of money for public schools. And the best thing that they could do is actually it results in lower class sizes. That's supposed to be a good thing according to all education advocates. So this is about, there was a demonstration at Parker Elementary just recently, this is that song, To Which Side Are You On? And to all the great educators, very knowledgeable. I hope that everybody gets to watch the comments of the interview that Steve did with some of those activists. They really, it's great public service of good information that we all need. So anyway, so which side are you on? 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 Not only Parker Elementary, they want to close our schools. That won't happen without a fight. Do they think that we're all fools? Which side are you on? 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 People know what's happening. A push to privatize. With a $30 billion surplus, it's not hard to realize that we taxpayers pay the salaries of those who decide our fate. But it's time to take our power back before it's way too late. Which side are you on? I want to hear it out. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? KIPP chose to hire non-union hacks unqualified to teach. Our students see it as merely pawns, and the teachers' trust they breach. The best ideas in child development are entirely dismissed. KIPP teachers just a robot instructing from a canned script. Which side are you on? 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 Drill and kill is all they got. No history of math at all. No sense of math intrinsic of who we really are. These clueless billionaires have more money than they know with what to do. They buy off politicians and let kids give up on school. Are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Pitting parents against the teachers who have no union rights. Let public ed become a corporate scam? No, we're gonna fight. Which side are you on? 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 They say right here in Oakland and San Francisco town and all across the land. No neutrals here that I can see. For public education, let's take a stand. Well, which side are you on? Let's hear it. Which side are you on? 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 Are you listening up there? Which side are you on?
Thank you, Commission. Trent Willis, member of the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, Local 10, and I'm here to urge you to vote no on this measure. I just want to remind this Commission that what we are facing here is a land grab and a billionaire's attempt to get access to public resources. That is all that we are looking at here. When you talk about a comprehensive analysis, from looking at your slideshow, there was no comprehensive analysis here. Analysis is supposed to be done by facts. What you heard here today was not facts. You had made up information to make the case for allowing this property to be accessed to a billionaire for profit. This is what we're looking at. We are completely against this. The facts that, the misinformation that you heard that this terminal is not being used for maritime access is false.